It's not Newcastle related today. It's obviously about the Super League. Welcome back to Blackandwhitebanter, everyone. Bit of a strange one today. It's not Newcastle related. Didn't expect to be doing a video on a Monday afternoon, but the Super League. I'm sure you've all read about it. I'm sure you're probably going on internet, YouTube, everything, trying to get your head around what the hell this is. So it's just a bit of a ranty video. I'm joined by my friend Rob. Now Rob's a Man United fan, so I'm going to get a different perspective. I know a lot of us don't like Man United, and I tell you as much.
You do.
But just going to get a different perspective. Obviously, we aren't directly involved in this absolute bullshit that is the Super League, but obviously Rob's team is. So it's going to be a chance for us to chat about, from a fan's point of view, someone whose actually team is going to be affected by this and included in this, but obviously a chance for us to rant. So for anyone who might have been on Cloud Cuckoo Land the last 24 hours, maybe you've been working, whatnot, I don't know. Basically, last night there was a statement released about this Super League as such, which is going to include 15 teams?
12 at the moment.
12 teams. A couple of teams have said no. So basically, it's just going to be a rival for the Champions League, if you will. The likes of obviously top six in our from the Premier League. So Tottenham, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and then the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. I think.
Yeah, there's only 3 from Spain. Then Italy. Italy is AC, Inter, and Juventus.
Yeah. So there's a couple of teams said no from other countries, which we'll touch on in a second. But these teams are all going to be put in this league together. They're going to play each other.
They'll never be relegated from it.
Yeah, they'll never. It's a league, but there's going to be no relegation, and they are pretty much pulling themselves away from all of the competitions, basically, because they might not want to, but it's already been spoke of by UEFA that anyone who takes part in this will not be taking part in the Champions League, because it's a rival to that league. So, first and foremost for me, absolutely furious. As a Man United fan, someone whose team will be in this Super League.
Well, with Man U fans, we already hated our owners and we expected nothing less from them. They're the worst people in the world, and we don't want this at all.
Each team's apparently going to receive £3.5 billion. So basically, this is all about money. That's all this is about. An unknown owner of a football club of one of the top 6 in England's come out today and told Sky Sports that revenue and finances come first, and the football side of things, i.e. fans, everything else that's involved with the football club, that comes second. This is an owner of a football club in England saying that the fans and everything else come second and the finances come first for the turnover. Which person said this? I mean, your guess is as good as ours. Could be the Glazers.
Could be ours, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was. But they're all the same. Liverpool have American owners. City have like Abu Dhabi owners. They don't care about our leagues. Well, the thing was, I actually thought City did, but they clearly don't. Daniel Levy, we were talking earlier. I'm surprised he's done it as well.
Obviously, lots of things has happened in the last 24 hours, but lots of statements have come out from different people. So apparently UEFA are putting the boot in, which I don't like UEFA. We've all, one of us at one point will have all said that we thought they were corrupt, especially, we're not going to get into the Qatar World Cup and all that stuff that came with that, but they basically said that they came out last night and said that these the players who might play in these competitions won't be able to play in the Euros, won't be able to play in the World Cup. So it's pretty much been like a movie the last 24 hours. It's like a soap opera. There seems to be a different statement coming out. But just from my side first, as a Newcastle fan, someone who's not involved in this, it's just absolutely infuriating. It's like us fans are the heartbeat of our football clubs. Without the fans, these clubs are nothing. It's our game, and I don't like to say it's our game as if we own our football clubs. We don't. But we just don't get a say, and that's why it's interesting to speak to you, because your team's going to be in this. You don't want them to be, and you don't get a say.
All I'm trying to do at the moment is think it's not Man U. I'm just isolating the owners, because it's not the fans, it's not the manager, it's not the players. Well, I hope it's not some of the players. You never surprised me if like Paul Pogba was for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the good players, you'll see the good ones are. A lot of them will be against it. Like Ander Herrera, he's already come out and said something. But
yeah, like against it basically.
Yeah.
I see Fernandez has put something cryptic on his Twitter about without the fans it's nothing or something.
Yeah, it's just these owners who know nothing about our game, nothing about the history. Even though these clubs were made by fans and the poor, like 100 years ago, these owners are just came and stole these clubs and trying to ruin it.
And you know, I've seen a lot of stuff on social media, like some Newcastle fans. Because there was a call from Gary Neville. If anyone who hasn't seen Gary Neville's rant about it, I'm not going to claim to be Gary Neville's biggest fan. I think he's a good pundit, but generally, you know, the Man United connection. But his rant yesterday was perfect. It was spot on. He basically said that he wants his own club, Man United, to be relegated, kicked out. And I saw some Newcastle fans on social media saying, like, we'll kick them all out and then it's anyone's game to win the league. No, and we touched on it in the car. It's not as simple as that. You kick the big teams out, as much as it pains me to talk about Man United in that light as a big team, like, you know, they are. You kick them out and then the revenue, you know, things drop.
The revenue goes, and look at like little clubs in the FA Cup, you know, when they draw Man U, City
what
in the
they get
FA
from
Cup.
that.
That's like a big day for them. That's a huge event, and that'll be gone.
And I just think all of these owners, regardless of what country they're from or what their origins are, all these owners coming into our football clubs and coming in, and yes, some of them have been around. Roman Abramovich, for example, I think is he the longest standing out in the six club? Oh, I don't know how long Daniel Levy's been at Tottenham as the owner, but Roman Abramovich might be the longest, 2003.
I don't know, I think the Glazers might be older.
Oh, right, okay.
They were actually, but the thing is, they didn't invest money into the club, they made us poorer.
Yeah.
That was the difference.
But these owners have been around for so long, the likes of Roman Abramovich and the Glazers and everyone else, and they've got a feel for that, for the culture of football in this country. The fact that they now say we're gonna take them out of whatever competitions they play in, we're gonna start our own league for the rich. It just drives me insane. Like, you want to grab these owners and shake them by the neck and say, "Who do you think you are?"
The thing is, you don't see them, you don't hear them. We hear from Ed Woodward, who is basically just a puppet to them. You know, he just does everything that they tell him.
Well, I would love to say we have the same in Lee Charnley, but any Newcastle fan watching, we don't even know what a Lee Charnley is.
So, with all this happening, what do you think of when you were going to get taken over?
Well, interesting that. So obviously, I totally agree. And if anything backs up the takeover last summer from the Saudis, and I hate to touch, I got a lot of grief from my video last week about the takeover talk, reaction from the newspapers about Boris Johnson getting involved, blah blah blah. A lot of people said, "Why are you doing this to us again?" I was just talking about a paper article, what was in front of me. But this proves to me that our takeover was all of those six clubs, Tottenham's, the Man Uniteds, they all said this can't happen. We're just about to start this Super League. We want to go into a new league of our own, go up a notch, let the rich be the rich. We can't have another player in this game. Not because we were potentially going to be one of the richest clubs in the world. But the flip side of this is, yes, that's frustrating that they've obviously said, no, Newcastle, you cannot be taken over by them. That is frustrating. But I also think now, look at Man City. They owned by relatives of the Reuben brothers and whatnot who were going to be taken over. It's Man City have okayed this league. So
the thing is, it should have been done 10 years ago. Like, it's not fair to stop Newcastle getting an owner because the other ones have had it. That's where the problem is.
Yeah, and but again, it goes back to who do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah, really. If the Premier League stopped Newcastle, they should have stopped Man City. They should have stopped the Glazers.
Yeah, why suddenly now?
Yeah.
And the tests have got worse. You can't tell me that back in 2000. You can't tell me that back in 2003. That Roman Abramovich went through this fit and proper test that the Saudis went through in the summer.
No.
But interestingly though, Newcastle fans, and obviously always drop in the comments and let us know, now that this has happened, if we had been taken over, hypothetically, and it's all a dream for us all, you know, we were linked with Mbappe, all them players last summer, if we had been taken over, we may, and I don't know this, but we may very much well have been approached to be in this Super League. Would any of you want that? Because now this is making me question having these Saudis in charge, because I don't want a football club owner who's going to pull our team away, rip it to shreds and put it in some new billionaire league.
But at the same time, if Mike Ashley had the money, and he would probably do it as well.
He would. I know, but we don't need to touch it. We all dislike Mike Ashley anyway, so we know that. But we all think at the moment that getting taken over by the Saudis and Amanda Staveley would be the best thing since sliced bread. And now I'm not so sure, because it sounds like they might jump all over this.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm trying to think of any reasons that someone would say that this is a positive or stand up for why the teams have done this. All I can think, yes, teams have been put under financial stress because of the COVID. I get that, and they've been offered $3.5 billion each. But surely this is still something that you just have to say. That money sounds nice, but no, we could never flip football on its head like that.
They all just think for themselves. It's just all this is going to do is make the rich richer.
Yeah,
and it'll just create a massive gap between like those clubs in that Super League and the ones who aren't, and it won't be fun. I don't want to watch Man U play Juve in that league when you've got say there's 20 of them in that league eventually. Yeah, they're all big clubs at the start, but eventually the ones at the bottom, it won't become a big match. It'll just become like any other league. But at the same time, I actually like Man U going to Burnley and stuff. I enjoy those games.
Yeah, but I bet these owners, they don't.
Yeah.
I bet the games they don't watch are Man United versus Burnley. The games they watch is Man United versus...
Yeah. And we just heard someone on the news, a fan of Inter Milan, like a fan from China, just telling us all how he was going to love the games if this goes ahead. It's more exciting for him. It's just... He doesn't have a clue.
And this poor Chinese bloke, if he's watching, which he's probably not watching,
yeah.
But he's been singled out by the news because they've desperately wanted to find someone. I don't know how they found this Chinese bloke, but he's sat there on his little swivel chair. He's Inter Milan covered walls in Beijing. I think it was Beijing, and he's come out and he said, "I am all for it." What did he say? "I am all for it. These games are exciting. These games excite me." And it's like all I see it going like is when, and I know we talked about it earlier, when Real Madrid and Man United go to America for a pre-season, it'll just be that over and over and over.
You could get me really bad is we have these boxing matches at 4 a.m. because they're in a stupid country. We might have these really good games at stupid time of the day. It'd be ridiculous because it won't be for us anymore, before where the money is.
It's an absolute disgrace, and I don't know what the next step is. I mean, I've seen Liverpool have put banners outside their stadium. They're fair play to the Scousers. They've put banners that basically say like RIP Liverpool Football Club, with obviously the death year being 2021. They've put like Liverpool, I don't know what the banners say exactly, Liverpool against Super League, blah blah blah. I mean, a club like Liverpool, especially.
I'd like to be. I don't know if it would happen, but say if it happened, all the clubs went to this Super League, the big ones. I'd like. I know it's hard to do because you've supported them, so I'd like all the fans to stop supporting them and try and make the actual league bigger. I mean, we all have to support someone else now, and we'll make that big league bigger because I don't want to be a Man U fan. I don't class it as Man U if they're in that Super League and they're not in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, as fans now, we have to do something about this. Our voices, these owners do not give two shits about our voices. Like, the only people in this who don't get a say, so the players get a say because they can go on strike.
Yeah.
So the players can do, and you've said you've already seen
well, you'll find out
called in midfield for PSG. He's already come out. Yeah, players like Herrera have already come out. Bruno Fernandes has put something on Twitter.
Yannick Bolasie came out as well. Random.
I don't even know who's out now. He was at Middlesbrough on loan at one point.
Everton.
All players are going to be getting. You would like to hope that the big players of the teams, lots of players. I know we mentioned Paul Pogba. He'd probably be for it. To be honest, Paul Pogba's too busy flicking on Instagram to even realise the Super League's happened.
Well, I hope I'm wrong about him, but I could see him as one of the people before.
Yeah, it's glamorous. It's glamorous. He likes the glamour.
Well, what they'll do is, the players who are against it, they'll try and sway them by offering them more money. So there'll be ridiculous salaries in that franchise.
Yeah. So we'll find. Let's be honest, Newcastle fans. We'll find out who are the players with the right sort of intentions. Whether it's financial, it's we understand that money is important. We get that, and the glamorous side of being a footballer is getting all this money. Yeah. And we all get annoyed when a player goes for more money, and we say, but it's easier said than done for fans, isn't it? Yeah. Like, you don't know whether you were in those shoes if you were offered to go to China for 400 grand a year a week. Sorry, you probably would, but you just don't know. But we'll find out because. But going back to what I was saying earlier, we are the only people who don't get a say. So the players can go on strike, and that's a different metric altogether. If the players can't play in the Euros, that's a new metric because they want to play in the Euros and the World Cups. So they can do something about it. Managers can. I mean, Mourinho obviously got sacked. There was rumours that he's maybe refused to go to training. That was what was reported this morning. I was reading. We don't know whether that's true. You were saying obviously it could be a great opportunity for Mourinho to make himself look good when he knows he's going to get sacked already. Yeah. But managers can do something about it by saying I refuse. And then, sure enough, with all the best players, the Messis, the Ronaldos...
I think it's more the players because all these clubs, they can replace managers quite easily. So it's like the managers don't really have that much power because you look how quickly they get sacked, but players do. But like if these big players aren't in this league, then the league's pointless.
Yeah, it's not Super League, it's a league.
So it's really up to these players to say, oh,
So we rely on our players, but again, it just goes back to the fact, us as fans, it's our game. Like, as daft as it sounds, I'm one of the Newcastle fans who would much rather see Newcastle win the Champions League than England win the World Cup. And I know it's always one of them controversial questions, which would you rather? But that's just because I see Newcastle as personal to me. It's our football club, it's my football club. I'm sure you probably feel the same about Man United. But we are the ones who don't get a say. Yes, we can protest, we can stand with our banners and our flags. We've done it with Mike Ashley plenty of times. But something needs to change because this is an absolute joke. Whether it's the Premier League need to get involved, the government, like Boris Johnson's already said he's against it, he needs to get involved. This is ridiculous.
I don't understand Americans. Who wants a league without relegation?
I know, it's exciting, isn't it?
You want something where you can go from the worst to the best, or the best to the worst, so it's more exciting. You don't want something where nothing can happen to you. You could have a bad season, but it doesn't matter.
And there's just so many repercussions with this, because if this did go ahead, and it's a massive if, the Championship gets affected.
Yeah.
The lower leagues get affected.
The lower leagues will be hammered. The Premier League will be affected. It won't be.
Everyone will be affected. And whilst all this is going on, whilst our league starts to crash and burn, our cup competitions, our FA Cup games, like you were just touching on, all the lower league player Man United and whatnot, whilst all this starts to crash and burn, the Super League lads, they'll be playing, and I assume, like you were saying earlier, they'll be playing in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. They'll be playing in the Yankee Stadium. They'll be playing in 11 o'clock at night.
But I'm sure as a Newcastle fan, you could have a chance of winning the league, like without the big teams in it. But would you want that?
It's not.
It wouldn't feel the same, would it?
I mean,
you want to beat Man U and stuff, don't you?
We would move on because I think after a while, Man United, Arsenal, and Tottenham and stuff would get forgotten about, and we would all move on.
It's like right now, Newcastle, if they played Arsenal this week, I could say, well, they could beat Arsenal.
We'd have a chance, of course we would.
And it's like, why do Arsenal get the right to go in that league and no one else doesn't?
Funny you should say that, because the one that winds me up the most, Arsenal, I've always had a soft spot for Arsenal, admittedly because of the Wenger days, the invincible days. But Tottenham, I'm not being funny, Tottenham, but Daniel Levy, one cup, 2009 League Cup. I remember I think Jonathan Woodgate scored that day. That's how long ago it was.
Everton have a big history of them. Nottingham Forest have a big history. But
Tottenham, because they've got this big stadium that turns into an American football field. They've got a Champions League final under the belt recently. And I think because they've got and I'm sure Tottenham do have a fan base now, America, whatever else.
Well, I'm all for making money from fans being able to watch our league abroad.
I'm envious. I wish Newcastle had bigger fan bases abroad. Like I wouldn't want tourists in CJ.
Well, that's all for pre-seasons. It's fine. Yeah, go over there, advertise the league, and say, look, this is our club. We can watch us abroad.
But what is happening? What is happening to you think you've seen it all? Like, what a crazy year. And now you've got the middle of the season as well. Middle of the season with, football clubs going through pandemic, football fans losing jobs, things going tits up left, right and centre. And now suddenly you've got a Super League. I mean, the players, I know Rob was just mentioning earlier, the players need to, he was just putting his veg on the pan there. The players need to protest to this. We will find out which players we deserve to give any respect to and admire. The likes of Pogba and such come out and support this. We know exactly what sort of person they are now. But this is just ridiculous. These blokes are coming in, taking our football clubs, ruining our leagues. Our leagues that have stood for hundreds and hundreds, long before I was alive.
I just don't understand Man City. So they've come over. Since they've come in over, they've been really professional. They've created jobs in the city. They've made massive training grounds and everything. All for what? They looked like they were doing a good thing. Actually, they were actually running the club really well. I know it's not like their money. It's money's coming, but
on paper,
What? Why are they ruining that?
And that's exactly what I'm going to hold my hands up now and say, as a Newcastle fan, Saudi takeover. Yes, we've always said anyone but Mike Ashley, anyone who's got a bit of money wants to invest in the team. I am on the fence now. If these Saudis would come in and put us in this Super League and destroy our football club, but also destroy all the other fans of the teams in the process, I'm on the fence now. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know whether Mike Ashley would have ever said yes to this. That's a different debate for a different day, and it's hypothetical.
It's like Gary Neville said, there needs to be some sort of governing body that can
Just
stop.
Just shuts this down.
Like these really rich owners taking advantage too much.
And you touched on how Germany works with obviously the 49% ownership to the 51%. How a foreign owner in Germany you can't
have full control of the club. That's
the
one of
majority
the
stake.
reasons why Bayern Munich aren't doing it. So don't think some of the investors at Bayern Munich probably do want it.
Yeah,
but they just can't.
I mean, I read today Porto have said no to this. Fair play to Porto and a powerhouse. I mean, not a powerhouse football club. I wouldn't say in Europe they are still seen as like one of the minnows in the Champions League to a degree. Not your Malmos and that sort of teams that come into it, but they are still one of the. It's a generous draw for a Premier League side to draw Porto, generally. But so yeah, fair play to some teams for saying no. But my God, this is actually. Today's just felt like a dream reading about it. So, as always, Newcastle fans, drop in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on the Super League. I know we aren't affected by it. It doesn't influence us, but it could do if it actually happens, the league that we're in. Let us know your thoughts on what has been a mad day for football in general. Like and subscribe. Obviously, as I always say, get us on Facebook and Instagram under Black and White Banter. And yeah, I might come back with another video later in the week, depending on how this develops. But
you could end up in the Super League or the not so Super League.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to stick in the normal league. We aren't so super. We're not as super as Tottenham. What's been our scores against Tottenham recently? I don't think they've beaten us. But different debate for a different day. Yeah, RIP football potentially. We'll see. Rest in peace, football as we know it. Thanks for watching.